Alright, this is going to be a video from going from dpfi to mpfi, kind of to clear up some questions people might have regarding some problems they come across or whatnot. My 91 hatch runs good and everything. I'm not doing a step-by-step. This is kind of go through some of the wiring and some questions, like if someone can't really quite understand how something is. Basically, the first thing I'm going to go over is probably the most common one that I've got asked in the past, is where is the map sensor? There's your throttle position sensor right there. You can see there's no map sensor on the back. You just got your fuel injectors and that's about it. Well, your map sensor is actually right here. See, has the same plug. These, how you can tell is this has the same plug as your throttle position sensor right there. So whenever you do the mpfi swap, this plug will actually go on top of the intake manifold, the whole 9 yards. Basic overview of what dpfi is throttle body injected, basically. You know, you got your primary one here, which works at idle, and then once you hit the throttle, this secondary one kicks in to give it a little bit more extra fuel. You're going to have to do wiring to the distributor whenever you convert over to it. Now, I'm just doing a video on the engine bay. I don't have an ECU or any of the plugs to kind of help with that, so it'd kind of be easier just to do this engine bay right now. The setup that I'm going with, well, actually, we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, this setup has different water lines than, here, let me pull this out of the way. Has different water lines than what what mpfi is. Basically, your water line comes off of your housing here and runs it here. On mpfi, you're going to have to get one for an mpfi, which will run up from here up to this intake manifold on this side here. Most of these lines right here, these can all be reused. These go and run to over here to your idle air control valves, which, I mean, them can be reused. Another thing is your throttle cable. That's going to be really long, so you kind of have to shove it places. All these extra little vacuum lines and all this crap are going to be deleted. Now, I'm going to get back to the injectors protective. Now, this is a OBD2 injector clip and pigtail, as you can see. Now, if you look at each and every one of these, they all have a yellow wire on them. Now, basically, we'll use this one as an example. This blue one right here will run to the ECU, which is inside the car. That'll get pinned into one of the pins. The brown one will on this one. The red will go to the ECU. Like I said, the brown one will as well, and this solid yellow one will. Now, the other part here, which you can see this has like a black line on it. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, that has a black line and it's yellow. Them will all be, in my build, them will all be connected together, and there will also be another line coming from the ECU, which it's the pin A15. We'll run one wire in, can join all these wires together. The yellow and black wires, they'll all be wired in together with that A15 pin wire conjoined with it. Now, if you're running OBD0 injectors, you're going to have a resistor box. So basically, you're going to have to get the resistor box and the pigtails for that. Now, that you would pretty much do the same thing, is run all these wires into the clip along with the A15, and then you plug it in the resistor box. And that's a basic kind of understanding for the injectors. Other than that, if you're staying OBD0, which is what I'm doing, you don't need to do anything much more than that. Most of the sensors from this will plug into your mpfi, like your air intake temp sensor will plug in. This right here is your idle air control valve. That'll plug in, no problems. You might have to extend it, but I mean, that's no problem. You just gotta solder some longer wires on it. Another thing that I'm truly not sure of, we actually bypassed it, was this purge for this canister right here, this solenoid. These plugs are different. Now, I'm not 100% on how that whole thing plays out there. As you can see, my garage has a bunch of shit laying around from, well, it's not my garage, just my buddy's. But that's kind of a basic understanding of the engine bay. There's not a whole lot. There's no trickery to the whole thing. It's pretty much just wiring different things together to make it all come together and work. And that's about it. There should be more updates with this. This is my daily driver as of now till my cord gets done. But just a little bit of what I'm doing, my build, is this motor is actually coming out. It's getting redecked, everything is getting redone on it, getting a pair of rods and pistons and boosting it pretty much. And that's why I'm using OBD2 injector clips. I mean, I could change this and use OBD1 injector clips, but I have a pair of RC 450cc injectors that will plug in the OBD2, so that's about it. And there will be more updates.